Today, celebrities aren't just growing older, they're getting hotter.
She's got the body of a 25-year-old. How's that possible?
Sure, he shouted at the devil and seems to have also made a pact with him. He still looks like when he was in his 20s.
The curves on that woman just don't stop. She is the woman who most women want to be.
These are the stars who've wowed us for decades, and they've never looked sexier.
She's much better looking now than her high school yearbook picture.
She loves to keep that cute little butt looking like it's 20, and it does.
We're hitting the multiplex, the concert hall, and the small screen to salute the stars who make 40 plus fabulous. From its beginnings, Hollywood has been an arbiter of sexy. From the silent beauties of the roaring 20s, to the bikini babes of the 50s, to the counterculture cool of the 60s. All sex symbols have had one thing in common: youth. But not anymore.
Right now in Hollywood, the hottest commodity are people over 40. And that's a first, because it used to be, if you were 40, that was the end of your career.
50's the new 30, 60's the new 30. So many actors, actresses, in the best shape of their lives. They are the template now.
These actors and actresses are in their prime, making more money than they ever did.
More people want to look like them now than they did when they started. They've got the career, and they're still hot. Basically, they're people I hate.
What's so incredibly attractive about celebs over 40 is they have it all. The wisdom of experience, accomplishment, confidence, and they have the allure of youthful good looks.
And these megastars are really burning up the box office.
Brad Pitt, the year he turned 40, he starred in Troy, where he shows off the most spectacular body I think any 40-year-old has ever had.
When I hear Sarah Jessica Parker, I think legs. Sex and the City, wearing an amazing pair of heels, running down the street. And her legs, their age is probably like 19 years old.
Julia Roberts, she still has that $1 million smile that everybody loves about her.
Julia Roberts is just like the girl next door that you just love. It's not Marilyn Monroe, it's not Sophia Loren. It's a different kind of American beauty.
Hugh Jackman, that body just won't quit. He looks like a superhero walking down the streets in New York.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, smoking.
Catherine's got that timeless beauty and that grace about her. That poise makes her so alluring.
All these stars are hot, but a 2011 Allure magazine poll said our next celebrity has aged better than any other.
Demi Moore graduated from the Brat Pack, but she still looks unbelievably young. She could even be a Brat Packer today.
In her 20s, Demi was scorching in 1985's St. Elmo's Fire. In her 30s, she showed her lean and mean side in movies like Striptease and G.I. Jane. But as the new millennium dawned, Demi actually abandoned Hollywood for Haley, Idaho.
She gave up her career for being a mom, and everybody thought that maybe that was the end of Demi Moore.
But in 2003, Demi came back to prove that 40 was a whole new beginning.
Demi Moore came back with Charlie's Angels, and I think people were surprised how she still looked really amazing.
She was just as hot and just as strong as they always remembered her to be.
She outshines the Angels. I mean, I think she's as old as all of them put together. And she looked gorgeous.
Demi Moore was with Lucy Liu, Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, some of the, hottest actresses of that time. But when people left the movie theater, all they were talking about was Demi Moore.
And there's another secret to her enduring image as a sex symbol. Her hot romance with husband Ashton Kutcher, 15 years her junior.
She's one of the first really high-profile women we've seen have a divorce and then pick up a younger lover, the way we've seen male celebrities do for decades.
She is the cougar that we all ascribe to be.
She ages actually in reverse. So now she's actually looking younger than her own daughters. She shows everyone that there's actually no need to age anymore.
Our next star is not aging in reverse. In fact, he's Hollywood's sexiest silver fox.
Everybody says it. Clooney, Cary Grant. There's a classical masculinity to George Clooney.
Born on May 6, 1961 in Lexington, Kentucky, George Clooney's been an object of fantasies for over 15 years. The 50-something bachelor is a classic leading man with chiseled good looks. But he wasn't always seen that way.
George Clooney started out very goofy.
He's, starring in Facts of Life and Roseanne, kind of playing this dorky character.
He had almost like this mohawk tail situation, and he kind of looked like a scrappy kid from next door.
Someone told him somewhere along the way that he is so good looking, he's got to kind of straighten up. When you're that good looking and you're playing mixed and fuddle goofiness, that combination doesn't necessarily work.
The swooning began in the mid-90s when he burned up the small screen as Dr. Doug Ross on the hit series ER. By the late 90s, he'd become one of the big screen's most popular stars by being himself.
One of the most attractive things about George Clooney is he never apologized for being George Clooney. He said, yes, I look great. Yes, I'm a huge movie star. And yes, I date tons of gorgeous Italian women. That's what I do.
I kind of like the idea that there are rules and then you find ways to break them.
And Clooney's sex appeal gets a big boost from his sly sense of humor.
George is known in the business as a total prankster. There was something about him putting Vaseline on doorknobs of his director of Ocean's 11, something about him filling Brad Pitt's suitcases with lead weights. He is nothing but a sexy prankster when it comes to movie sets.
There's another dimension as well, which is he is out to save the world and does seem to be doing it.
George Clooney is involved with an organization called Not on Our Watch with Matt Damon, and what they do is they bring attention to the situation in Darfur, and he brings celebrities to keep that topic on top of the news.
He got all of his big celebrity friends together in 2010 for a telethon to help victims of the Haiti earthquake.
He's been the kind of guy that other guys look up to.
But he isn't just a compassionate guy. George is a classic Hollywood hunk, too.
George Clooney has the sexiest 5 o'clock shadow. I don't think I'd want a clean-shaven, primped up. I want him coming out of Afghanistan dirty, looking depressed that he couldn't find the bomb.
He's one of those rare people that just keeps getting sexier with age, and we're willing to keep almost fantasizing that he's forever available.
George isn't the only big screen veteran who keeps getting sexier.
The story about Halle Berry is that when they were developing HD TV, everybody looked bad except for Halle Berry.
All of a sudden, everyone's pores and imperfections were obvious, with the exception of Halle Berry. It's almost like they created high-definition television for Halle. Her skin was flawless, and she made the transition perfectly.
Halle Berry was born in Cleveland on August 14, 1966. From her public debut as a 1986 runner-up in the Miss USA pageant, Halle has captivated audiences. And for the past 2 decades, she's been heating up the screen with her smoldering beauty.
Halle Berry has a real radiance, and it seems to get better with age like fine wine.
I mean, she's good looking. She's just like, what color Cadillac would you like me to buy you good looking?
You look at her throughout the years, she has stayed incredibly consistent.
She's much better looking now than her high school yearbook picture, and there's something about her that just seems timeless.
Halle's one sexy mama. In fact, a poll on the popular website AskMen.com named her hottest celebrity mother.
She beat out some really young, hot celebrities for the title, including Kate Beckinsale, Gisele Bündchen, and even Jessica Alba.
Halle had a baby when she was over 40 with a guy who's almost 10 years younger, and that amped up her sex appeal even more because people were like, good work.
This is a woman who is not slowing down, and actually, in her 50s, I will bet money that she'll be hotter than ever.
These are the stars who are hitting their stride past 40, and some look as sexy now as they did when they debuted years ago. But in the war on aging, celebrities do get help.
There's a reason why certain people get famous. But in order to keep that hotness and stay relevant, they have to work hard.
Something you have to remember with celebrities is they have access to the best trainers, the best food, and then of course they have access to the best skincare, dermatologists, and plastic surgeons.
Well, whatever today's 40-plus big screen foxes are doing, they've taken aging gracefully to a whole new level.
Antonio Banderas is so hot because he has an amazing mouth. It just says sex.
His incredible voice. And those incredible lips. The voice and the mouth it comes out of.
Salma Hayek is another woman who just has not aged one iota. The body looks just as incredible. If anything ever does go wrong, you're going to be distracted just by her cleavage.
Owen Wilson's sexiest feature is his blonde mop of hair. You just want to run your fingers through it.
Owen Wilson has this kind of, crookedy nose and this crooked smile, and he just looks so different. And I think that makes him, sexy.
Johnny Depp is raking in $15 to $20 million for movies. It's not just for his acting skills.
Johnny Depp is always voted the world's sexiest man over and over again.
He has some cheekbones you could hang Christmas ornaments off of.
Women want to have sex with him. A lot. Right now.
I think everybody has a fantasy about Johnny Depp.
But if women want to be with Johnny Depp, they want to be like Jennifer Aniston.
We featured Jennifer Aniston in our February cover, and that's because she is the woman who most women want to be.
Back in the 90s, the fantasy about Jennifer Aniston was all about hair. Fans flocked to the local salon, demanding the Rachel, Aniston's signature Friends cut. But now that Jen's past 40, people aren't just fixated on her hair.
Jennifer Aniston just exudes hotness. She's got the bronze skin, the blonde hair, the perfectly taut legs and arms, and that's something a lot of women really do aspire to.
Her transformation from primetime pal to sex symbol began in 2005.
The best thing anyone ever did for Jennifer Aniston was when Brad Pitt left her.
When she became the wronged woman, a lot of women identified with her.
Well, to Jennifer's credit, she didn't play the victim. She naturally was hurt, and we all felt for her. But then she moved on, and she just was like, I'm going to live my life. So she's fine. She's the master of her own universe, and that's what we respect in a woman.
Look, I have goosebumps. I just love me some Jennifer Aniston. Nobody doesn't love Jennifer Aniston.
I've seen Jennifer Aniston in person on a stage, and I was really amazed. I was like, this is a very hot woman. I'm gay, but still.
Now in her 40s, people are looking to her as an icon for staying physically fit, trying new workout regimes, trying new diets, and having endless amounts of energy.
She talks about her fitness routine a lot, and she really marks a new generation of women that want to stay as fit and beautiful as they age as they were in their prime.
Jen's not a body that never seems to age. After a career that spanned 2 decades, Mark Wahlberg still boasts a serious six-pack.
Mark Wahlberg has the perfect abs, and we first saw it when he was in that Calvin Klein ad in the 90s, and I'm sorry, no one has forgotten that.
Born in Boston on June 5th, 1971, he first made his mark in the music business, and having a hot bod didn't hurt.
Cut 20 years later, he's in The Fighter, he's still got those abs, he looks amazing, and it shows you really have to work out every day to look that good.
I think he's known that maintaining that perfect physique is one of the reasons why he's so famous, so he's worked very hard to keep that body.
He's a classic, superficial, good-looking guy who just had a hot body and that was going to fade. Well, we know 2 things. One is that the hot body never faded, and number 2 is that he's been able to transform himself.
He's producing Entourage. He's being nominated for an Oscar with The Fighter. He has totally amped up his career. Mark is commanding huge paychecks, anywhere from about $12 to $15 million per movie.
But with all he's accomplished, Wahlberg is still pushing himself.
I think that one of the hottest things about a guy like Mark Wahlberg is he's still got that chip on his shoulder. He still doesn't want to talk about Marky Mark. He's still got something to prove.
Our next actress has been proving herself since 1994, when she played a super hot action hero in her breakout film, Speed.
Sandra Bullock has always played women. Not only does she play these women, but she's one of them in real life.
Born in Arlington, Virginia on July 24th, 1964, Sandra Bullock oozes confidence, and that only adds to her appeal.
The interesting thing about her is, she's from Speed to Miss Congeniality on through The Blind Side. She's really had a strong vision of these strong, confident women. That's not only attractive to women, it's attractive to men who want to be attracted to someone they actually respect for more than just being hot.
Sandra is resilient off-screen as well.
Sandra Bullock, of course, had a very devastating year when she found out that her then-husband, Jesse James, was cheating on her.
How Sandra Bullock handled the disgraceful way her ex-husband behaved was the epitome of class. Bravo.
Sandra might score points for her integrity, But Sandra's also hot because she's hot.
She's got these sort of dark, piercing eyes, this wonderful hair, no matter how she styles it.
Sandra Bullock, best eyebrows.
Sandra Bullock has the best legs. This is someone who has really worked to make her body fit into her 40s, and in her movies, it really shows.
Even better, Bullock is that rare sex symbol with a gift for comedy.
You have to go back like 40 years to the classic screwball comedies to find a woman who can be that beautiful, but can still get a laugh just by snorting on screen.
She's self-deprecating. She shows up to receive Oscars as well as movies for bad acting. And she's always there with a quip and a sense of perspective.
People can grow more beautiful with their personality, and I think that's everlasting. I mean, we're all going to get old and get fat, and everything's going to slide. And, I want to be really comfortable when I'm old.
In the music biz, the pressure is on to look good, no matter how young you are. But to stay in the top 40 over 40, you need to work it harder than ever.
Well, unfortunately, the music industry is not just about talent. It's about being the full package, and appearances as much to do with selling records as well as you can sing.
The truth is, in the industry, through the agents, through people like that, they make a lot of this pressure.
The look has become essential to promoting and marketing a musical star. And as artists get older in music, they realize they still have to look amazing to stay relevant.
And plenty of pop stars have still got the goods, past 40.
Tim McGraw is a super masculine guy. He's rugged. He is totally the sexiest man in the country music world.
John Bon Jovi in your 50s and have the same waist size you did when you were in high school? That's just nuts. It looks like a teenager.
Sheryl Crow has this sexy, hippie chick kind of vibe that, guys think she's the girl next door, and that's why they fall in love with her.
Mariah Carey is sexy because she loves her body. Whether she's a size 2 or a size 10, she just looks sexy and acts it.
But looking sexy is just part of the equation. To stay on top, these 40-somethings need the stamina of stars half their age.
Take Lady Gaga, for example. She's touring all year round. And then you take Madonna, who's 50 plus. She's doing the same thing. But in order to do that, she has to be in the best shape possible. She has to have a lot of energy.
And she does. Though her birth certificate says 1958, it's hard to believe this Michigan girl is in her 50s.
Look at Madonna, she's hotter now than she's ever been.
Nearly 3 decades into her career, Madonna's been through a lot of changes. Now in her 50s, she's become the poster girl for a perfectly toned physique at any age.
Madonna's been a huge inspiration for women when it comes to working out and getting your body fit.
As somebody who's refashioned herself as a fashion icon and brand, and a fitness brand and icon, Madonna's got to stay healthy. She has to take care of her body. It's part of her business.
She's stick thin, she's muscular, she's taut, and she's very proud to show her 50-something arms out, among other parts.
People argue about her arms. They argue about whether they're too defined, whether you can see too many muscles in her arms, too many muscles in her legs.
Madonna has the perfect body. I mean, this is a woman who has sculpted her body to perfection, and it doesn't look anywhere near its age.
People love to argue about her because we're really invested in her now, and you kind of want to see her keep going. No one wants to give up on Madonna.
Don't give up on this pop star either, because even in her 40s, Janet Jackson is a force to be reckoned with.
All the movie roles she does, all the songs she sings, they're all about empowerment. They're all about being strong. I want to be a strong black woman.
She was born on May 16th, 1966, to the most famous family in music.
Janet came out from under the shadow of her world-famous brother, and at first she was kind of a sweet little sitcom actress. Then out of nowhere, she was this very sexy music video star.
It's been about 25 years since she was Miss Jackson if we were nasty. Oh, and we were. Believe me, we were. It's interesting. She still rocks it.
Well, Janet paved the way for stars like Rihanna and Khalees and so many people by just being out there and upfront about her sexuality in these music videos. Janet comes off almost like a sculpture of a woman. I mean, and she's always embellished herself with kind of leather and studs and very revealing things. She just portrays this kind of very tough, sexy, dominant woman, and she's not letting that go, and she shouldn't, because she still looks amazing.
While Janet has maintained her fit and foxy look for years, this pop star has undergone a style evolution.
Gwen Stefani was the ultimate skater chick.
And she became a fashion leader by becoming kind of a glam punk goddess.
Born in Anaheim, California on October 3rd, 1969, she tore up the stage in the ska punk outfit No Doubt and earned a mob of devoted fans.
We met Gwen Stefani when she was singing Just a Girl for No Doubt. She was kind of a California skate rat girl, bone thin, looked like she spent a lot of time on a skateboard. She was cool.
Gwen came out of the box as a kind of ragtag, punkish type, but obviously you can't keep doing that as you get older. It doesn't seem natural.
But with 2004's debut of her own fashion line, Gwen proved she could go from funky to super chic and sexy.
She really emerged from that tomboy look to a fashion icon.
I just happen to get excited every day when I get dressed, and it's very much an extension of your mood and personality.
She can just be having a ponytail and some lipstick first thing in the morning while she's taking her kids to school. Then she can be back on a red carpet wearing an amazing gown. Either way, it looks amazing.
And Gwen's husband is an equally hot rock star.
She's married to a very foxy guy, Gavin Rossdale. They have annoyingly cute kids. Looks pretty cool.
2 kids later, she's still in great shape. And this is a woman who's not slowing down as she is in her 40s, and she's giving girls that are in their 20s a run for their money.
We've seen some of the hottest 40-plus stars heating up the box office and the Billboard charts. But we've got even more music megastars with serious staying power.
Music artists have to be on all the time. If they're in a concert, people are either taking pictures or a video with their cell phone.
Now, even if a celebrity goes to the market, they're potentially a target for their own internet red carpet. That picture is going to go global, especially if they aren't perceived as looking perfect.
Now more than ever, it's important for celebrities to look their best around the clock.
These people are driven, and they're talented, but more than talented, they're driven.
People really take great care of themselves. And I think that that is something that maybe they didn't do back in the day.
And it's working. Some of music's biggest names are still kicking it and looking as sexy as ever.
Many find Nikki Sixx to be very sexy because he's that bad boy rocker type.
Sure, he shouted at the devil and seems to have also made a pact with him because he still looks like Nikki Sixx when he was in his 20s.
Prince's eyelashes. I mean, they're so long you could braid them. They are off the hook.
There's just a talent that radiates from that man that is so seductive.
Faith Hill is country's most glamorous, sexy performer. She looks incredible, she has a hot husband, and she has a beautiful family.
Keith Urban's best feature would be his hair, because it's always perfectly mussed. And I'm attributing that to the fact that his wife is like a foot taller. And so I think she must just do that a lot. I think she must just, and it's always perfect.
While Keith never tidies up his hair, this R&B superstar has polished up her image from street to chic.
Mary J. Blige grew up from a hip-hop figure to a very glamorous R&B figure.
Born in New York City on January 11th, 1971, Mary J. Blige has been the reigning queen of R&B for years, selling more than 50 million albums. But Mary J. wasn't always this elegant.
Mary J. Blige did have some help from, her public relations team.
She had charm lessons.
They just wanted to make sure she was comfortable in her own skin with her image.
And she did it without sacrificing what was real about her. And in the case of Mary J. Blige, that's struggle and that's pain.
Mary J. Blige has been very open about the fact that she came from a very dark place that involved drugs, it involved abusive relationships. She emerged from that just believing in herself, and she found strength through her music. And I think that's why fans all over the world feel like they relate to her.
It's about the balance of life. You know, you cannot have growth if there's no tension or there's some kind of situation for you to grow in.
And it isn't just her life story that makes Mary J. Blige so alluring.
She's curvy, and she's really owned those curves.
Mary J. Blige has these amazing, sexy, soulful eyes. She's absolutely stunning.
She has her own sense of style. You don't see her with long hair extensions. You see her really wearing her own hair. She owns who she is, and I think that's what's really appealing about her.
I've grown into a place where I can just accept whatever it is about me, whether it's good or bad, and not beat myself up about it anymore.
Mary J. isn't the only music star who makes no bones about her body. Born on July 21st, 1969, Bronx native Jennifer Lopez became a multi-platinum selling singer and Hollywood's highest-paid Latina actress. In 2010, she added American Idol judge to her showbiz resume, and she's made just as big a mark by changing our ideal of beauty.
She really started a revolution in the entertainment industry, letting women know that you don't need to be stick thin to be popular and successful.
And even though she's past 40, Jen's curves continue to win over fans. The 40-plus superstar was named People magazine's most beautiful woman on the planet for 2011.
Jennifer Lopez has been a hugely influential celebrity. Allure just did a beauty census, seeing what people's views were on beauty, and the most popular body type was Jennifer Lopez's.
Way before the Kardashians was sporting a very healthy culo, and she got criticized for it, which is crazy. And she's like, I'm sticking to my culo, and it's still the world's most famous culo.
And maintaining that physique takes some serious time in the dance studio.
Jennifer Lopez is one of my favorite people to pop in on during, you know, her workouts and dance with her, because she can dance circles around people in their 20s.
Keep in mind, she had twins a couple years ago, so she has to work out, she has to eat right, and it takes a lot of work to look as good as Jennifer Lopez.
Back in the late 80s, the girls screamed for hair metal hotties Poison and its androgynous frontman, Bret Michaels. Fast forward 20-plus years, and Bret's still rocking.
Bret has always stayed on top of the headlines with reality shows, with appearances, with bad boy behavior that makes him interesting and sexy.
Born in Butler, Pennsylvania on March 15, 1963, Bret has turned into one of rock's most lovable heartbreakers.
I think Bret Michaels' appeal is that he is the nice guy of bad boys.
Here's Bret Michaels, one of the most likable men on television. I mean, I swear to God, we could take every other dude off TV and just put Bret Michaels on. The Apprentice, get rid of Donald Trump, put Bret Michaels in, I'm all about it. Top Chef, get rid of Tom Colicchio, put Bret Michaels in, I love it.
I'm one of those guys that I really believe in what I'm doing. You don't always have to be lovable. You just have to have people go, this person has something about them I relate to, that they can grab onto, a spirit, a passion.
I interviewed Bret Michaels. It's the exact same as talking to that dude in 1988. He's completely enthusiastic. He's like a kid. He talks about the exact same stuff: girls, music, motorcycles.
Likeable is one thing, sexy is another. And Bret is every bit the hair metal hottie he was in the 80s.
Bret Michaels has the sexiest eyes. They're beautiful, they're big, and you just kind of want to drown in them.
Bret Michaels is very glossy. He's sort of a hard rockin' Ken doll with a bandana.
He also appeared with his shirt off, and he's ripped, he's very muscular.
And you can bet this 40-something works hard to keep the physique of a 25-year-old.
I love working out. I love running. I kickbox. I ride my dirt bikes, my mountain bike. And what it is for me, it's energy.
But what makes him feel finest has nothing to do with looks.
You win stuff for People magazine. Those awards are nice, but you got to feel it inside first. And honestly, when I became a father is when I felt the sexiest.
We've met the sexiest seasoned stars of film and music. But the small screen is also teeming with stars who are hot, famous, and 40.
There's been an explosion of 40-plus stars on TV because the demographic of viewers has changed.
In 2010, the Nielsen Ratings Company conducted a survey, and they found out that people in their 40s and their 50s watched twice as much TV as young teens did.
Older viewers are tuning in, and they really want to see people they can relate to.
And it doesn't hurt that some TV stars don't appear to age at all.
She's gotten older. She's just gotten better and better.
Kelly and I started together at All My Children when she was about 19, and she had like these little Chupa Chipmunk cheeks. Now she still has the beautiful little baby fat cheeks, but she's ripped like crazy.
Padma Lakshmi from Top Chef. She's also a chef herself and a cookbook writer. She's gorgeous, partly because she can eat men under the table. That's sexy.
Jennifer Beals is hot because she still has that flash dance body from the 80s.
Her eyes can be very intense, and they really, really work for her.
When Terry Hatcher was on Seinfeld 15 years ago, she said her breasts were real and spectacular. And she can still bear it all on Desperate Housewives. She still has an awesome rack.
While Hatcher's bust line seems unstoppable, this actor boasts another attribute that refuses to quit.
John Stamos. Really, 2 words, the hair. That's it.
Born in California in 1963, Stamos and his mullet ruled prime time in the late 80s and early 90s on the sitcom Full House. But fans were brokenhearted when the series ended its 8-year run and Stamos seemed to leave the airwaves.
Nobody pegged him for a comeback, and yet he's hot again.
And now he's just as adorable.
He's been on ER, he's been on Glee. He has the kind of really good looks that survive.
John Stamos has the sexiest mouth. I mean, you just want to kiss it and kiss it.
But his appeal isn't strictly physical.
He's since come back because I think people saw that he has a sense of humor and he really doesn't take himself too seriously.
It looked like he was just a good-looking fella. That he turned out to be something more, someone with some self-awareness, ability to make fun of himself, great comic timing, and, let's face it, a chin you could open a beer can with. That was a surprise.
John recognizes his career in Full House was that hokey family ABC sitcom that they used to have, and now he's really kind of turned into some sort of anti-John Stamos in the 90s character.
He has a charm and an affability, and that's what a celebrity needs to survive. People glom onto him. He's likable. He's radioactive.
Our next primetime star had also been off the radar for years before roaring back to reclaim the spotlight.
America loves a comeback. Hollywood loves a comeback. She led a fantastic life, and then she got it together again.
Born in Wilmington, Delaware on April 23, 1960, former One Day at a Time actress Valerie Bertinelli staged a return to small screen fame with an astounding makeover.
Valerie Bertinelli is such an inspiring story. You know, it's like she got into her late 40s and she just pulled it all together. Lost 50 pounds. She's ripped. She's gotten herself into such incredible shape. She has a better body than I had at 19.
In 2010, Valerie parlayed her weight loss into a starring role on the cable comedy smash Hot in Cleveland.
She's not the squeaky clean, One Day at a Time character anymore. She's a much more sassy and sardonic character now.
Sassy enough to don a two-piece in her late 40s.
Valerie Bertinelli posed on the cover of a national publication in a bikini. She shows women everywhere that it's never too late to shed some weight and shed some clothing too.
She's working at it to expose it and show that they have to work at it just like everybody else. It's like, let's all get real. We're all in the same boat.
I have a beautiful place to jog in the morning if I want to go outside. I have a treadmill at home. And there happens to be a gym right underneath. So I have 3 opportunities to get my workout in the morning, which is great because I don't have to be at work until 10. So I have no excuse.
We like to see people in a bikini feeling confident when they've earned it. And she's earned it.
But if Valerie recaptured her youth, one star never lost it.
Rob Lowe is sexy because he does not age. He looks exactly like he looked when he was on my wall when I was 13.
Born in Charlottesville, Virginia in 1964, Rob Lowe made a name for himself in the 80s Brat Pack films The Outsiders and St. Elmo's Fire. Lowe remained a big screen star until the 1990s when he launched a huge second career in TV dramas and comedies. And now in his late 40s, Rob's pin-up good looks are eerily unchanged.
It's difficult at my age, late 40s, to see that he looks exactly the same that he did when I was fantasizing about him as a youngster.
Rob Lowe's scary. Rob Lowe, that's like some vampire blood scary stuff. That is some picture of Dorian Gray scariness. Because also, let's remember, Rob Lowe didn't exactly live on mineral water and granola back in the 80s. It wasn't like Mr. Health Food back then.
His cheekbones, they're like Mount Everest. You need a piton and some Sherpas with you to climb those cheekbones. I'm gonna go for a hike on Rob Lowe's cheekbones.
Rob's voice has a lot of character, but to me, the eyes are really penetrating and just could burrow into you. He could hypnotize anybody.
I don't know how he does it as his age. Maybe it's genetics, maybe it's a great personal trainer, but whatever he's doing, it's working.
These days, the big screen, the billboard charts, and TV are bursting with stars who are hot, famous, and sailing past 40. And primetime is making room for more mature characters.
I think Hollywood is finally on to the fact that, women and men in their 40s are going to be more interesting than teenagers, because teenagers' problems, face it, they haven't been on the planet as long.
They've had a lot of struggles, and because of that, it makes their lives a little bit more interesting.
When we're younger, everything is very black and white. And as we get older, we realize that that's not necessarily true.
Age has its advantages on the small screen, but the 40-somethings dominating the airwaves aren't just scoring points for their life experience.
David Duchovny has an amazing smirk. He's kind of letting us know that he's in on the joke, and that's what's so attractive about him.
Lisa Edelstein did a striptease on House. She still got it.
Lisa Edelstein has the sexiest body, and she's got the charisma to match.
Eva LaRue has the perfect skin. It's dewy, it's youthful, and it's something that money can't buy.
Eva LaRue brings a sort of light and radiance to CSI Miami, which is kind of a dark show.
But this 40-plus star radiates a very different kind of small-screen energy. She's one of TV's most lovable femme fatales.
Vanessa Williams, she's playing these sexy who are not afraid to behave badly, and that makes her sexy.
Born in Millwood, New York on March 18, 1963, Vanessa Williams came to prominence in 1984 when she won the title of Miss America.
Unfortunately, a couple months into her reign, some nude photos had leaked, and she unfortunately had to give up her crown, but it actually made her the most famous Miss America of all time.
Vanessa stayed in the spotlight through the years. She was in a bunch of movies, she sang a couple sappy songs, but it really wasn't until recently when she joined the cast of Desperate Housewives and Ugly Betty. She reminded people what a fox she is.
She's really kind of gone into this ice queen role, but at the same time, looking great, and audiences really love, maybe rooting against her characters a little bit, but at the same time, her look really draws those audiences in.
These days, Vanessa doesn't hide the fact that she gets some help from science. In fact, she's a paid spokeswoman for the wonders of Botox.
Vanessa Williams has spoken about how she uses Botox to stay looking like herself, which is completely understandable. But I have to say, there's not enough Botox in the world to make the rest of us look as good as Vanessa Williams.
Vanessa Williams wants to still look like Vanessa Williams, and she does. She's gorgeous.
While Vanessa Williams has enjoyed a long and storied career, this TV stud didn't get his big break until age 36. That's when John Hamm landed the part of ad man and ladies' man Don Draper on Mad Men.
John Hamm really kind of came out of nowhere a couple years ago, and it really shows that you don't need to be a 20-year-old. You can start in the scene at any age.
Born in St. Louis, Missouri on March 10, 1971, Hamm is a master at portraying the lover boy we love to hate.
Part of what makes John Hamm attractive is that he plays a conflicted bad guy. He's admirable and awful at the same time. That's who Don Draper is on Mad Men, and so you believe that's who John himself is.
But off-screen, John is nothing like his Madison Avenue anti-hero.
Here's the thing about John Hamm. He has been with one woman since the 90s, Jennifer Westfeldt, who's an amazing actress.
They're not married, they're boyfriend-girlfriend. But still, the fact that he's not this big Hollywood star sleeping around with a bunch of different starlets, you've got to love John Hamm for that.
While his character Don Draper is dead serious, in real life, Hamm is seriously funny.
John's hosted SNL. He did a guest star on 30 Rock with Tina Fey. And that sense of humor, along with those looks, really transform him into the ultimate Hollywood package.
While Hamm made his name on one hit series, this sexy actress has brightened up one sitcom after another, starting with her debut on Family Ties back in the 1980s.
In her 20s, she was chipper, adorable. 30s, she was obviously very attractive, but in her 40s, she really owned her appearance.
Courtney Cox was born in Birmingham, Alabama on June 15, 1964. After making her name on the 90s sitcom Friends, she's aging gracefully. But don't tell Courtney that.
Courtney Cox apparently said that she knows she's not as hot as she was 20 years ago, and that makes her feel bad.
I can't believe that Courtney Cox would say that she wakes up some days and knows that she's not as hot as she was 20 years ago, because let me tell you, it's almost hard to look at her. She's so beautiful.
When I watch her come into the makeup room without a stitch of makeup on and just think she's already been made up. It's like, why are you even in the makeup room? Go out onto set. It's like, no, I need makeup. No, you don't.
Despite her insecurities, Courtney epitomizes the allure of hotness after 40 in her hit TV sitcom, Cougar Town.
Courtney Cox in that role does suggest that an older woman can still be beautiful and sexy and can still own her sexuality as she gets older, which is great. That's breaking a taboo.
And Courtney works hard to stay sexy.
What an awesome body that girl has. Holy cow. I mean, she looks spectacular, but she's got the body of a 25-year-old. How's that possible?
She's always in great shape. She's never let herself go.
She loves to keep that cute little butt looking like it's 20, and it does.
From her small screen debut at 21, Courtney's shown real staying power. Makes you wonder, which of today's young stars will be sticking around for the long haul?
So it's kind of fun to look at the younger generation and that pool of stars and kind of pick out and see, who's actually going to make it, who's going to be here in another 20 years.
It's quite possible that Justin Timberlake could be the next Mark Wahlberg. They both started out as hip-hop singers, boy band singers, wearing their pants a little bit too low, and they've both really proven themselves.
Ashton Kutcher will move into George Clooney because he's a prankster.
I can see Natalie Portman being the next Demi Moore. Not only did they start in their teens, but, they had sort of these edgier roles.
Selena Gomez is the next summer.
Zac Efron, I can see kind of like Rob Lowe when he grows up. It's hard to see Zac Efron growing up into a man, but they both have this kind of boyish look and those killer eyes.
But even when today's 20-somethings are hitting their super sexy 40s, these hot, famous, and 40 stars don't plan to throw in the towel.
40 is just the beginning.
I'm hoping 60 will be the new 20.